Hi, my name is Sue, and I'm going to tell my story about my diagnosis for CLL, that's chronic lymphocytic leukemia, how I came to find out about that diagnosis. Also, I want to say that I'm a Navy veteran. I was stationed in Sicily many years ago, and also I'm a Peace Corps volunteer. I was stationed in Armenia, working as an English teacher from 2011 to 2013. So it's an important part of this story. So anyway, in 2018, I was at a place where I wanted to go on another adventure, and I decided, I'll join the Peace Corps again, because that was a good experience, and I wanted to do that again. So I applied. They have a rigorous physical requirement, and I thought, no problem. I'm very healthy. I'll just do what they are asking me to do. Well, one thing came back was that I had a high white blood cell count, and I didn't think much about that. My doctors didn't say anything about it, so I didn't think about it either. But the Peace Corps pushed back. They said, what is this? You need to get an evaluation from a hematologist. So I did that, still thinking it was just some requirement. The doctor said I had some kind of irregular blood cell, B cell something, and I didn't, he didn't act like it was important, so I didn't think it was important either. But then the Peace Corps said, no, you need to see an oncologist and get an evaluation. It turned out they knew all along what it was, but nobody else would say. So anyway, the oncologist tested me and talked to me. He acted very calm, and I did a lot of blood tests. And a couple months later, it was a couple months later in November of 2018, that he called me on the phone and he said, you have CLL, that's chronic lymphocytic leukemia. The only thing I knew at the time was leukemia, and I thought, well, that sounds terrible. What are we going to do? What does that mean? And he said, well, it's cancer, and we're eventually going to treat it with a medication. It's a very good medication. It's called ibrutinib. It's also called Calquence. It's very effective, and eventually we're going to do that. And I said, well, can we do it right now? I don't like this feeling. When he's telling me this, I'm in my living room, by myself, and I'm just thinking, is this a dream? Am I dreaming this? How could this be even real? And he said, no, we aren't going to start the medication right away. We were going to wait. We're going to do this thing called watch and wait. It means that you just wait and see how it goes, see how everything goes. And I said, why? Can't I just start the medication and get on with it, get going? And he said, no, the medication is very harsh, and it can cause some of the same symptoms as the disease causes, which is bruising, fatigue, which I always had fatigue, but I just thought I was a tired person. I didn't think much about that. And it can also cause night sweats and weight loss and just kind of some general things that they tell everybody. And I didn't like to have to wait, but I said, okay, what can I do? So it just went on, and a few years later, I did start the medication. In 23, I started the medication. My white blood cell count kept going up, and I did start the medication. Oh, and by the way, the Peace Corps, when I told them, I said, well, I'm not sick. I can still join. And they said, no, you are going to be sick all the time. You're going to catch every cold, every flu, COVID, you're going to be so sick all the time, very sick. And we can't handle that. We don't want you. And I was devastated. I was devastated not to get in the Peace Corps. And I was devastated to have cancer. And some other bad things were happening. So it was like a really bad time. So anyway, yeah, in 23, I moved to Omaha, Nebraska, just because of different circumstances. And I got a job at the VA hospital. I was working there. And I did start, that's around the time I started working. I mean, I was working there, and then I started the Imbrutinib, also called Calquence. It's very harsh medication. It's very expensive. It's $16,000 a month. I don't have that kind of money, but I was fortunate that my insurance covered it, most of it, and then I got a grant for the rest of it. So that was lucky. But the medication has been a trial. It's mostly it makes me feel dizzy and lightheaded if I would go upstairs. And still, if I go upstairs too fast or get up from a couch too fast, I feel like I want to faint. I feel very lightheaded. So that has been a symptom, the most pronounced symptom I have from that medication. Anyway, so while I was working at the VA, I didn't tell people that I had it, because I had cancer, because it's a real room killer, a buzzkill. A lot of times people don't believe me. They think I'm just kind of nutty, making this up. They go, well, you have hair, you were walking around talking, you drive a car. What do you mean? You're not in the hospital. You don't have tubes all over the place. They just think I'm not telling the truth. So that's been frustrating too. But so I pretty much keep it to myself. But anyway, I did talk to my VA counselors about having leukemia, and it was found later that I was stationed at a toxic base that was in Sigonella, Sicily. So I'm not sure if that's really connected, but they said it was. So that happened. So anyway, I just wanted to record my story and let people know that sometimes the symptoms and the treatment is not what you think. You don't look like maybe what people think is a cancer patient. Maybe you don't look like that. Maybe you are like me. I'm doing pretty well. I pretty much do whatever I want to do, except for the fatigue that slows me down. But otherwise, it's not bad. So thank you for listening.